All right, what's up? Happy Monday, everybody. What's going on, Jen?
Not much.
Back in action this week.
Back in action.
We need some help here.
Okay.
We need some sort of somebody to come build us a desk, or we need some sort of permanent solution for what's going on. I'm half leaned on this desk, half off to the side. I've stopped posting videos because I'm all askew.
Yeah, I'm in our daughter's bedroom on her vanity that I finally cleaned off, so there's room for me.
Yeah, we need a more permanent setup. This will be 183 episodes.
Dang.
We're clearly into this, but
okay.
So
maybe that's a spring project.
Yeah, well, how many weeks till spring? 8 weeks. So 8 more of these without
Isn't spring
desk?
like 2 weeks?
March. What is it? 21st.
Yes, that's like 2 weeks, I think.
All right. Cool. All right. Anyways, so last week you weren't here. We had a little mishap with scheduling. No big deal. I just fire away. Just for everybody listening, I don't like doing solo episodes, but it is what
Shit
it is.
happens.
Yeah. Sometimes, exactly. Sometimes stuff happens and there's not an option.
Yeah.
Or sometimes Jen and I's schedules don't line up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to record by myself. And then it takes it off the plate. I'm like, I've already done the episode. Yeah. No big deal. And we don't have to stress about it. But what I did last week was I just pulled some of the stuff and I told everyone listening, I find so many interesting questions and stuff on forums in, social media land. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of go through those and chat about them, good or bad or sort of irrelevant. I think there's a case for everything pretty much, right? I mean, businesses shouldn't be losing money. That's a pretty popular one. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. Although I did see that the other day. Not everything should be about money. And sometimes you should do things for lower prices so people can afford them. That's great if that's what you want to do, but not if you're losing money.
Right.
That would be, in my opinion, something you do because you've made money.
Right. You shouldn't be operating at a loss.
So that's what I did last week. And I told everyone maybe we'd do that again. So maybe we can get your opinions on some of the things I talked about.
Sure. And I didn't listen to the episode, so I don't know your opinions.
And so I'm sure you know them anyways, but.
True.
And either way, we'll find some new ones too. I screenshot a bunch of stuff. And again, I said this last week, I'm not going to obviously use anybody's names. And I don't read these word for word because I don't want people going and searching and being like, oh, this is dumb or, oh, this is whatever. It's just our opinion on things that are coming up as salon owners or even just hair pros in general, because I'm on one of those pages too. And it's mostly formulas, but sometimes people ask actual questions.
I'm not on as many as you, so it's kind of funny, actually.
So let's start with the opening takes. What do you got?
You go first.
Okay. Mine's short. So I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know where the sentence just popped into my head, but just because you're not used to something doesn't mean it's wrong.
Like that.
That's my opening take. Is I think a lot of people in every industry, not just hair, but it's a lot of monkey see, monkey do. People see all the success, I'll put success in air quotes, of people on social media, and they're like, oh, if I do that, I'll get famous too. Or if I do that, I'll be successful too. Or if I do that, I'll have a lot of followers or whatever. And what works for somebody might work for you. It might not work for you. Odds are you're going to have to do your own thing. When you start copying people, all you're ever going to be is second best of them. You're going to be like a number 2 version of them because you're not original. You're not bringing anything to the table. And that's okay for a little bit, but eventually you're going to be like, why isn't this going as far as I thought? Well, you're always striving for second place when you're just being a follower.
Also, when you try to copy somebody from where they are in their life, you have there's a journey that got them there and why they're doing so well and why they've become maybe successful or whatever's bringing you to their page. You haven't done all that legwork. So you're starting and you haven't put in the time yet. So to think you're going to get the same results is quite ridiculous because I guess maybe by luck, but that chance is super slim. Most people can't consistently stay with anything. So you're usually just excited and then it wears off.
Also, what you're looking at and basing, using for your definition of success might not even exist. People on
Right.
social media lie about everything.
Right.
I've seen so many times, so often, where somebody will post something and maybe it's somebody that I know, and I'm like, that's not true at all. You didn't do that.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful with that stuff. But anyway, do you have an opening take or
I'll go with we are into March, so you're kind of rounding or getting into that third quarter of whatever your goals were for the year. I think I might have done a
third quarter?
first quarter.
March
I
would
mean,
end in the first quarter,
first
buddy.
quarter. Sorry, I was thinking third month, so I went third
Oh,
quarter.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Cool.
first quarter. Sorry,
Yeah,
third month of
I'll be
that.
over here.
Whew, kind of, I think I have touched on this before because I think it's important, but time to reevaluate. What goals did you set for 2025? What have you accomplished? What haven't? Have you fallen off? Let's get you back on. Don't worry about what you didn't do. Let's figure out what you have done. And then if there's some stuff that you're like, wow, I really wanted to be here by March and I'm not, you need to be honest with yourself. Why aren't you? What didn't you do? What fell off? What consistencies didn't you keep going with? And right now you have a chance to get back on. You still have a good portion of the year left to still accomplish everything that you set out to do. But if you keep putting it off, it's going to spiral into a ball that's so big, you're not going to be able to get all of it done. So my reminder for today is reevaluate, look at the things you're trying to accomplish for the year, and either make a new plan or get your plan back on track.
Perfect. All right, let's run through these. And I already gave my answers, so I can, after Jen gives hers, I can kind of touch base on it and then we'll move on. Because nobody wants to hear me talk twice if you listened last week.
Maybe they do.
So one of the things the first thing, I believe I have this in order, is somebody asked, what do you recommend to get your salon to $1 million? What are your feelings on that?
First, I'd ask why $1 million? Like, what is that number? Is there some significance there? Is that where you break even? Is that your profit margin? Why $1 million first, I would start with, because I think that's a number that most, I would imagine, they just picked because somehow they think that'll make them feel something, which I can guarantee you won't. I've said this before. I had my last salon, did $1 million in sales, and we were negative for profit. So I don't really know if the number $1 million is relative. I'd say, what do you need to be profitable? How profitable do you want to be? And what's that number?
Cool.
Was your answer
Yeah, I forget exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of if you're negative, it doesn't matter. And
I love that example because I lived that life, and my business by the time thought $1 million meant like we were so successful when we were in the negative. So $1 million was irrelevant.
This next one was somebody wants to know if we'll ever see fully staffed salons back in our industry.
Oh, come on over to Hello. We're fully staffed.
That's hilarious. So I said, well, we have a fully staffed salon.
Yeah, we do. So
I believe I said something like, obviously we could squeeze things and move things around and become more streamlined. We're in the process of adding some stations and expanding, but at the moment we're full. So yeah. Perfect example. You're welcome to visit. Not being a dick when I say that. Just if somebody out there is like, I don't know how a fully staffed commission salon would look. Well, I can show you. I'm happy to show you.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't think I talked about that one.
While you're looking, I'll comment on the fully staffed salon because I do have a few things here. I think it's easy to blame every other surrounding thing that is causing you to not be fully booked when you are your own problem. I wouldn't blame it on renting. I wouldn't blame it on suites. I wouldn't blame it on anything. You're focused on the wrong things and you're in a negative headspace. So get yourself positive and figure out what kind of staff you're trying to attract. And then the big one is leading by example. The actions you take, the things you do daily, that's going to attract the right people. If you're putting out negativity and not doing great things in your salon, you're not going to attract that. Also,
I think I said something similar to that. Like
yeah,
if you're
and
just blaming everything,
do you even
if you're looking at everything outside instead of looking at the inside, then you're past the point.
So focused on the wrong thing. And then do you even know what stylists in 2025 want? Like, do you even understand the needs? Do you understand what they're looking for? Are you able to deliver that? Are you able to meet them in the middle? Are you able to adjust to grow and pivot your business to attract the right people? Are you able or willing to educate the people coming out of school and grow your team from the ground up? That's what we did. There's so many things in that. It's definitely possible. We've done it, and we've been open almost 5 years. It's a battle no matter how you run your salon, but it is possible. It's just you probably need to take a look at you.
The next one I did was and I agree with all that, but I've already said that in the last episode. The next one was about people being able to purchase items at supply stores without a license. Somebody was complaining that in their state, their distributor is selling to the general public.
I would say, who cares?
Yeah, that's what I said too.
So, because I think, again, you're focused on the wrong things. Focus on what
I
can set
that,
you apart, what makes you different, how do you
exactly.
elevate your game, and focus on that, not what you think you're losing by you're not even.
You think you're losing by you're not even?
What you think you're losing by someone buying
Nobody.
at that
Nope.
store, when just attract them back into your business. And maybe your focus doesn't need to be so much heavily on retail. If you're not making the sales, then again, you have to pivot. Where else can you profit? What else can you offer? The day of retail being everything to me is just done. And I wouldn't worry about it. People get their shit all over the place. Amazon has everything.
This person was particularly talking about chemicals to like do their own hair.
Again, I
not like
don't know.
shampoos. And again, I
You
said
can
the
get that
same
at
thing.
CVS.
Yep. I think I use CVS and grocery stores for the example, if I'm remembering correctly. And anybody can get that. The thing is it's not going to come out how you're going to do it. You're a professional.
Right. You're
This is
not.
why I've talked about a ton in the past about licensure. And people think that if we don't have licensure, then everybody's just going to start doing hair at their house. And then everybody will take all your clients. So here's the deal. You don't need a license to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Is everybody doing that at their homes? One, no. Two, would they be as good as the people that went to school or did an apprenticeship? No. So you can get hydrogen peroxide and do whatever you want with it. But is it going to come out like how it would come out from you? No. Then start thinking about what separates you. And I said I wasn't going to go on any rants because everyone already listened to me, but I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
I think that's really the point, is that person that's so worried about them, if it's color, buying color from their, distributor or wherever they're getting it, or again, CVS, you're forgetting the value that you bring to the table, or maybe you need to up the value as a hairdresser that you bring to the table. Most people don't want to do their hair at home. I just colored my roots. It's not fun. I don't love it. I can do it though in 5 minutes or whatever. But then I want to also be in the salon from time to time to feel like a client, relax, enjoy, and have some time to myself. So I don't think it matters. Like, let people do that, or help them even formulate it. Like, some clients will do their own roots. Like, sorry if it's too dark. I'm like, I'm here to fix it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. I think you thought that thought process, I would look at what you're offering in your salon. What value do you bring to the client? And then when they need their roots done professionally, they'll come in for that. There's a value there. I don't think it matters.
Right. I don't think it matters either at all.
And again, you're focusing on negative stuff. There's so much else you could do to grow your business that your time could be better spent.
The next one I'm pretty sure that I talked about was somebody wanted to raise their prices or asked if their prices were in line. And a lot of people in the comments were saying that what you charge depends on your location.
I hate that.
I do too. I don't know why that one bothers me. And I said, I actually used the example of our salon. I was like, we have $120, $160 haircuts. And we're in Southern New Hampshire. I mean, you can be anywhere. You don't, I think I said something like, you don't have to be in a city to charge, price. People think just because you're in a city. Well, there's
a lot of people. If you're in a city and you have no
no
clients, it doesn't matter what you charge. You're making
exactly.
$0.
And there's a lot of people that aren't as good in the city. And there's some that are great in the city. So it evens itself out. And just like in a rural area, if you're really good, you're in demand, you can raise your prices. People will pay it. There are people all around in your communities that have boats and private jets and, vacation homes and all sorts of things all
Mhm.
over the place that you wouldn't even know. You don't know. So to go out and say like my area won't pay for that is you projecting, which is very dangerous for your
Yeah, you have
career.
no idea what people will pay for.
Exactly.
Now, the other side of that is, and I do think this is why people don't always raise their prices, is because when you raise your prices, there's a perceived level of expectation from the client at different price points. And if you cannot consistently deliver at that level or above, you're going to lose people. So we coach our staff. Like whenever there's certain price increases that we have to talk about, someone's coming in at this level, they're expecting you to show up this way. They're expecting your technical level to be here. There's just expectations. So if you can't deliver those expectations, that's what you have to work on. If you can, and you have an overflow of clients and you're busy for months booked out, you can raise your prices. I don't care who's sitting next to you, who's in the next salon and what they're charging. You're overly booked, you're overly busy. You can do that. And if you do that consistently, you can get higher, 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 higher. But you also have to deliver on all the other expectations that come along with that. And I think I'm not being rude. A lot of people are lazy and they don't want to do education and they don't want to keep working on themselves. And they don't want to push themselves out of being uncomfortable. So they just do the same thing and complain, I guess.
Yeah, you dictate your prices because you're the one that sets them, not the area, not the person next to
Yeah.
you, not the whatever. And I think we talked about it recently. That you've been in salons where there are people that have been doing hair for like 35 years and they're all charging the same as
Mm-hmm.
the person next to them that just
Mm-hmm.
got out of hair school 2 years ago because they're nervous to not have clients, I guess, or they're nervous to raise their prices and then not have everyone the same. I've heard all sorts of weird things
Yeah.
and that's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Me too.
either way, this next one was a long post, and there was a few things I pulled out. It was called it's about shop owners and booth rent. So it says salon owners have systems that keep you controlled.
Mm.
That was the first sentence.
Interesting.
Controlled is in quotes. There's no growth in booth renting.
I mean, that would be to the individual.
Yep, pretty sure that's what I said.
And
As soon as you go ahead,
what was the first one you said?
salon owners have systems that keep you controlled.
So every business
It's like an anti.
Every business has
Owner.
to have systems or the business will fall down. Whether you're in a suite
This post comes around just so you know. This is anti-owner, so keep that in mind.
okay, wherever you sit with that, if you do not have systems in place, you will fail. No one will know what's going on. So I mean, at least at Hello, they're not there to control. They're there to be like, these are the rules. This is what you need to do. This is the
Hold
path.
on.
Okay.
They are there to control the scenario, to control the customer experience,
Well,
and to
yeah.
keep the
Yeah, sure.
stylist within the parameters that we set.
But
We
that
have a
word
lot
control
of
is
flexibility.
negative.
I don't know that the word control is negative.
Okay.
It's air traffic control.
The way I look at it as the
Traffic control.
systems are
Like
in
everything
place.
needs control or it would be fucking chaos, no?
Well, so also I was going to say every we have the systems in place so that the staff can come in, just be creative and do their job because they understand how like what is expected of them.
Right, because we control everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's our business. We
Yeah.
have to.
I
If
just
we
took it
didn't,
as I
it
guess
would.
negative. But yeah, you're right.
That's how this person is saying it too, because they
Yeah.
put it in quotes, which I found interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, business owners control their business. What? Why? What are you
Do you
talking
want
about?
them to stay open?
Right.
Hello.
So this goes on to say, as soon as you're good, they start going up on their rent.
Oh, what
You've
for
seen,
booth renters?
yeah, this is to booth renters, I guess.
Okay.
Renters. So you've seen that happen.
That happened to me. I have seen that.
That is something that happens out there.
Yes, that is very true. I was in a place and I guess didn't expect that for me to be as like whatever it was. And the woman didn't even know what I was charging. So it really was irrelevant because if I was charging like $20 haircuts, I really wasn't making any money, which I wasn't. But yeah, and then came at me with a bunch of different rules and raising stuff to try to make more money off of me being in there. And I mean, I left. But yeah, I guess that would be one if you were renting, making sure I guess you have a contract to protect yourself with that. I would anticipate that your rent goes up every year either way because everywhere we have a
Because
lease, it goes
that's
up every year and that's just how that goes. So you should anticipate every year you have an increase on your
right.
rent.
It's a controlled rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what this person's going on about, but here we are.
I mean, if they're doubling it because they see how busy you are, different ballgame. But there should be
Well, they
in
shouldn't be
there should
changing
be a
it on
contract
your
showing you what the percent is every year
right,
for
right,
the
exactly.
increase, and that's typical. That would be weird if you
I
didn't
do
have that.
I do believe that a lot of people don't have that, I would guess, and that they're just winging it. So
Yeah,
booth
yeah,
renting
yeah.
became popular. Everybody opened a booth rental salon and thought all my problems will be solved. And what we're hearing through the grapevine is the
Right.
problems are, in fact, not solved. And now you have, like you said, Jen, no contracts or anything. So how do you raise rent? Now you're too scared to raise rent, but you're not breaking even. So now you're stuck working behind a chair, spinning your wheels when you could have just got a studio or
Yeah.
whatever, where you could have just rented a chair.
Yeah, you're probably right. I bet you most renters just pay the same and have like whenever they started, wherever they were, which
If you can't raise your price
that's
on a haircut,
ridiculous.
you think that you're raising your price on a booth renter?
No. But it
So
should
the
be
average
you
person
should
out
have
there
like
might
your
be
lease
not
agreement
doing
should have that. It goes up
that. No
like I
kidding.
said, whatever percent every year. That's all businesses do that.
But most of it is so scarcity based, and it's which I want to
Yeah.
talk about booth renting in general. But most of it is like, what do you charge per day? What do you charge per half day? So it's like you're just letting people come and go, which is fine. That's your business model. But I would have
But also
again,
then
if
you don't need what you don't know what you need to make off each station if you're asking people what they charge. It's irrelevant because your whatever you pay for your lease isn't what someone else pays down the street. It's very different.
correct.
So each chair that you are renting has to have a number that you need to generate in order to cover everything and to be profitable. So if you're not even running at that, then you need to start figuring out how to raise that rent. And if it's astronomical, well then you did something wrong when you started.
The next section of this is that it says the whole objective of renting is to learn and get the knowledge of how businesses run.
Disagree.
Me too. Hard disagree because I thought
What are
booth
you
renting
learning?
was a business. I thought you were in business. Isn't that what it's defined
I mean,
as? You work
I
for
have
yourself?
interestingly, I think someone had said this one time, like, I'm gonna go rent a chair to learn how to do the orders because then I'll know how to run a business. Like that is not anything. I mean, you have to know how to do an order, but it's like not anything to do with running your business, really. Yeah, I don't even that just sounds
That's
ridiculous.
literally the least of your worries. Somebody said that?
Yes, yes, I have heard that. If you wanna
Wow.
learn how to run a business, you either need a business mentor, a business coach, whatever you wanna call them, a business book, like something that's gonna teach you, not just doing hair renting, it's gonna
Business
teach you how to run
school?
a business.
Something.
Like, yeah, that is
I
you're
didn't order
already
anyway.
behind if that's your mentality, and if it is, take this podcast and realize like, whoa, I have no clue how to run a business. I might want to learn that if I want to be successful, whether it's this year, next year, in a couple years, but get some real information, not from social media and the internet, like real information from people who run
Yeah,
businesses.
talk to somebody.
Even in our state, there's a free group. I forget what it's called. Todd, you've met with them like multiple times or
I
monthly
talked
for
about
the
this
first
last
couple
week.
years. What is it?
I talked about this last week.
Oh, that you can
Small
so it doesn't
Business
even cost any
Development Summit.
money. That's a yeah, small
It
business
exists in every state. All you have to do is Google it and set up a time to talk to them.
and they want to
Uh,
sit there and mentor people and it's free. So there's don't say like, "Oh, I don't have the money or the time." Like if you want to run a business, you better
Right.
figure out how to do that stuff. Like and that one's free, so that not talking money, now it's your time and you better start putting the time in or you're going to find yourself like everyone else like, "How do I raise my prices? How do I do this?" I mean, at some point you're going to take off the band-aid and just get uncomfortable and do it.
So this post goes on to say, so it talks about
This is
getting the
still a
knowledge
same
and learning.
post.
Yeah.
Oh,
It talks about
wow.
getting the knowledge and talking about how to figure out how to run a business. That's the point of booth renting, which I thought booth renting was a business. That's what everybody's been saying. I'm independent. I run my own business. I work for myself. But this person's saying that you go to booth rent to learn how to run a business. And then it says you take all your clients that you can and you start your own business.
What?
That's what it
This is
ends with.
wild.
Yeah, this is just one post, and I there was a lot here. So again, if you want my full answer to it, go back and listen to last week's
Okay.
podcast. Oh, the last thing we talked about, and then we'll find something new to talk about, was this new, and I'm working through some ideas because I want to talk about this, but this thing where people are starting to do like memberships.
Okay.
And what they're doing is what it seems like is you purchase a membership and you get money off of your services. So basically it's just a discount.
What's the purpose?
Exactly. Yeah, correct. For some
It's
people,
so
I've seen people post about it, and so I saw one person recently that was talking about how they offer memberships, and basically what it is that they break up the price of their hair over the year. So they pay like payments. So they're not coming in every month, but they pay every month.
it's just bizarre. How do you even keep track of that?
So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it. But basically, what it looks like a lot of people are recommending and saying to do is like take $5 off each service, or give them free products, or whatever. And I
And
just don't
why? You're just
understand it.
losing money. I see it so much of people that are basically losing. I just saw a post recently about a woman who was, I think it was anonymous. I just assumed it was a woman, but it was anonymous. She has a booth rental salon and she's not breaking even. Did you remember that post? So she
Maybe.
rents her chairs out and she's at a negative loss, which means she has to raise her rent, but she's afraid everybody's going to leave. Like, if that's your scenario, which I think is majority of the scenario, there's like not a lot of profitable salons out there, whatever business type of salon you're being. So if you're not profitable, how are you giving discounts and why are you doing that? And if you're not even charging enough to feel like your prices are where you want them to be, why are you discounting them? It makes no sense to me.
It goes back to the luxury word for me because I always get a kick out of buzzwords. And luxury is like rampant in the hair industry. Everybody's luxury, but also everybody's giving you a discount. And that
Yeah, those
doesn't,
two don't work.
to me, those things aren't
If you're giving discounts, you're like
compatible.
Walmart, which I love Walmart, don't get me wrong, but you're not luxury if that's how you have to run your business to get people in is like this discount, discount, discount. No way, in
All
my
right.
opinion.
So moving on, here's one. And we've dealt with this. So this person asked, they said they have two employees and they just can't get along. They're constantly fighting.
The
This
two
person's
employees.
like, yeah, this
Okay.
person's saying they really like them both. They're really great at what they do. I don't want to get rid of anybody, but I can't keep dealing with the drama.
Yeah, don't have a hard conversation. You could even go in. Todd and I, we had talked about this. We have to deal with stuff all the time in the salon, right? There's always stupid little fires to be put out. Nothing ever major. We're really lucky like that, but we're not lucky. We work really hard at driving that culture to stay that way. But when shit comes up, it is dealt with quickly, swiftly, and sternly, I would say. We don't stand for it. You can have a conversation, whatever you got to do. At the end of the day, you could even say to them, one, you got to go if you can't figure it out. Like, we're adults. Like, it's not a daycare. Like, you have two adults under your roof that don't get along. I don't care. You need to be respectful to each other. That's it. Treat each other well. Whatever you do outside of here, I do not care. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe.
We dealt with it recently.
Yeah, and it was like it's I get it. It's not easy to have a hard conversation, but like I said, it's quick, swift, firm, stern. Get your shit together. You're all fucking adults. Like, that's it. And if you need me to help mediate, which in this case I needed to mediate a little bit, I am here to do so. But also listen to what you're both saying, listen to what's happening here, and like, it ended up being great. Like, each one just had a misunderstanding, right? And it was like, okay, here we go. So this
Yeah,
owner
in
might
our
need
example, it was exactly that. It was this person said this one thing in a way, and the other person took it one way in a way,
Mhm.
and that's really what it was. And neither of them wanted to hurt the other person's feelings at all. That
Right.
was not the intent. But they couldn't
Both were
figure out
upset
how to
too. Like,
right. They couldn't figure out how to figure that out.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you dealt with it, and it was quick and swift. And after I followed up, but my follow ups are I try to lighten the mood, and I'm just like,
Right.
hey, you guys done with your bullshit, or are we still on this bullshit? Because
Mhm.
we can talk more or whatever. But
Yeah.
but I also want them to see that that's not really a thing. Like, it's not really the end of the world. Like, it's
Right.
that if that's your issue is a misunderstanding of someone did something, or I don't even remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Someone said something or booked something or whatever. And mistakes happen, but it's not the
Yes.
end of the world. And it doesn't mean that you're not a good person or that you failed in any way. It's just you made a mistake. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Like I said, I think in the scenario of that post, you need to have a hard conversation with both people together, not even separately, like literally have a sit down, figure it out. And at the end of the day, you may have to get rid of somebody. That's just part of being a leader. That's part of owning any business. Again, it's not always easy, but there's things you have to do to protect the business so the business is still there tomorrow. And it's going to start in this case with a hard conversation and getting whoever you have for your two stylists to adult, grow up, and respect each other. or you can't work here, because that just has to be, you got to lay down that law. Like everybody should be respectful, kind, respectful. That's non-negotiable.
So we can go through some of these in more detail. We'll do a few more and we'll just keep them kind of quick and wrap up. So this one is a screenshot I took, and it just a reminder, because we see this quite often, but what promotions help build a new stylist? And they went on to say, I'm thinking 50% off. I think that's insane.
Yes.
Because
I see that a lot. And I actually think
that?
a lot of people do that. A lot of salons do that. I have heard that. That's arbitrary too. Why 50% off? Like, what are you doing? And all you're doing is asking clients that are basically coupon chasers, because that's a thing, right? That are going to come in for the discount and probably not come back. In that scenario, like what we do is new stylists have models. They work on models. We work on consultation. We work on model pricing, but so that they understand what it would be if they were a client, and they realize being a model is because this person is working on technical stuff, but not just like everybody gets 50% off that comes in, because what is actually that new stylist learning? What's going on here? Like, who's working with them to get the most out of that appointment? And to be honest, if you just offer 50% off, I do believe it's like doing a Val pack, which is just like a coupon thing. I don't know if it's just a New Hampshire thing, and people are just looking for a discount. So if you're just looking to get them, I guess, volume of people, but make sure you're still not losing money at 50%, because I would imagine you are. That just seems very arbitrary. You just like threw that out there. There's lots of ways to build new stylists. And I think models is one. I think working with them one-on-one with even mannequins. We work with people. I just did a class on consultation. Like, there's so many things that this young stylists need to learn coming out of school. Some is even their appearance. Like, are they making sure they're dressing their best self to show up to the job? Can they speak professionally? You may have to talk with them on that. And then it goes to consultation, technically, all of the other skill sets. And if they're doing that and posting their work on social media, then they should start to get traction. We also do things where we go into the school and volunteer time and work with some of the kids for like a father-daughter dance. We go in and work with all the girls and do all their hair up, but that puts us in the community, which gets clients back in our chair. So there's so many things you can do. I think just offering 50% off as a blank statement is not going to work long-term, not for building them.
I agree. We don't do discounts. We do have model pricing when we do things like that, and it is a different rate, but it comes with a different set of expectations, and we lay those out. Mm-hmm. I think that you should probably, if you're building a new stylist, you should probably look at all the things you said. You should look at the client experience. What does that really look like? I don't care that you're nervous. How are you making the client feel?
Right.
I get that you're nervous. I don't care that the haircut's not perfect. Of course it's not perfect. You're not perfect, and you're just starting out. Like, how is the client experience? And I always go back to that. It's about the freaking client. And
every day,
the quicker you can learn that, the sooner that you will be on your way to success. It's really not that difficult. Our software allows us to make notes. I make notes in there. I have a client who just got engaged. He said, my wedding is blah, blah, blah. After his appointment, I went in and put that in there. Why? So that next time it prompts me. Yeah, I know the date. So you can be cool. I'm cutting his hair for it. Anyway.
Oh, good.
Like little stuff like that. Just, I'm not going to remember every single detail of every single person. So I use notes, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm making the experience about the client. Mm-hmm. Not saying I'm the best at it, but
you're putting in effort more than most.
It's a lot of people don't. Yeah. A lot of people, and we need to work on this at our salon too. The consultation thing, it happens. Like, people fall off, but when someone comes in, when you say something like, "What are we doing? Same?" Like, that's unacceptable. And it's not funny. It's not cool. It doesn't make you look cool. And if you're somebody that's doing that, even with your friends, like with your friends and family, especially, that's the time to double down, dude.
Yeah. You can really practice, work through things.
Really practice the consultation. Really practice making the person feel comfortable. Like, are you offering a drink? I don't care about your amenities. I don't care about what you're offering, or if you have martini of the month or any of that stupid stuff. I don't care about that. But like, are you making the person feel welcome? They walk in. Right. Most people have some sort of coffee or water bottle. I'll still even mention it.
Me too.
I don't know if their water bottle's full or empty.
Yeah.
Maybe they need something. Maybe they're just holding that because it's a habit and they're nervous walking in. Who knows? So I always offer everybody a beverage. Right now it's cold in New Hampshire. I actually don't think it's cold. It's rainy today. So it might be warm, but it's been really cold. So people are coming in with a coat. Some people will just toss it on a chair. I don't care. That's fine. But I'm always going to offer to hang it every single time. Can I hang that for you? No, it's fine, Todd. I'll just throw it here. Cool. It's like knowing your clients well enough to joke with them too. I have a client that doesn't care. He does not care. Do you want to see the back? Nope. Every time I still grab the mirror. Do you want to see the back? I still ask him every single time.
Because one
And
time you may want to.
Well, he said the one time that I don't ask, he's going to call me out because he understands what I'm doing, and people appreciate that little stuff. So you've really got to make it about, if you want to grow, make it about the client. Make it about not you.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I agree. I say it. I
that
sound like a
comes
broken
hard
record
from
with that one.
that comes hard from the restaurant industry and just working in hospitality. And yeah, you're like a lot of stylists. I've seen a lot of hair pros in general just want to make it about them. They have people come in and they're just dumping on them. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. My boyfriend did this. I got engaged, this and that. And that. It's like, yeah, you can sprinkle some of that stuff in, but most people are there for them. That's their time that they're paying for. It's their appointment. And you're taking from them rather than giving to them. See, when you give to people, they want to come back because they're getting something.
Right.
But when you take, they're like, I want to go see this person, but they're constantly like draining me. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. So I'll push it off or I'll go somewhere else or whatever. And trust me, that stuff happens. And especially when you're talking about newer stylists, they get the Dunning-Kruger thing where they think they're amazing at stuff. You're not amazing.
It's not
People
possible.
are coming to you because they like you. Why do they like you? More times than not, you're making it about them. You're making it fun. You're making it light. You're having a conversation with them that you're actually genuinely interested in them. All right. Let's do one more and then we'll close out. So this person said that they opened up, they have a question. They wrote, I have a question. I opened up a suite. I'm trying to be smart, so I want to open a business account. You should have done that.
Funny, not funny.
How do I pay myself? Is there a percent or a flat rate? I don't even know where to. I probably should have picked a better one because I'm trying to be nice. Yeah. So people are really out there just swinging for the fences. That's what I just learned. Just no clue whatsoever.
Yeah, that business account, hiring that accountant, that would have been the start, which would have set you up for all of those things. Now, let's say there's a lot of
business say. You're a business, aren't you? Everyone wants to be their own business, but nobody wants to actually be a business.
Let's say if that post is a good amount of people listening, like, oh my God, that's me. I just opened and I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Then you need to get your ass to a bank today and you need to figure out an accountant today so that you understand in your state how you should pay yourself so that you understand what the taxes are, what's coming out, what you're going to owe. And I say your state because it's different, right? You have to know what's there for you. Like even that post, that's like anybody could give information, but state to state is just different as to what you need to do. Or depending on how much money you're bringing in, how much you should save, an accountant can help you so quickly, keep you organized. Someone's going to run your books, whether you now have to hire somebody or they're going to teach you how to do it yourself. These are all the things you're a business owner now, you're going to have to do. Having that business account right from the beginning. Did you even register? Like there's so many things that have to happen. So if this post resonates with you and you haven't done any of that, within the next 24 hours, you need to get that stuff done. Like so that you can stay ahead and not be behind by the end of the year and stressing out every day or every week about how you're not able to run it the right way. Just fix that. Go be an adult. Go get that stuff done.
Also, if you don't have an account, where's your money going?
Yeah.
You're just taking cash and checks?
Or you're using your personal account probably for it, which you shouldn't.
No, definitely. Don't.
You want that separate.
Maybe they're doing like Venmo or something for payments.
It still then would go into their personal account though.
Right.
Yeah, you need a business account. You those are separate.
That's like Jen said. So if you don't have this stuff, don't be ashamed and don't be embarrassed or whatever. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of the people that we've talked to have no clue.
No.
They really don't. There are people that run amazing, solid, great businesses in the industry. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the entire industry. But because you have this wave of everybody wants to work for themselves, I've said this a million times. Not everybody in the restaurant is capable of being a manager. Even fewer are
Right.
capable of owning and operating. But in
Mhm.
this industry, we think everyone should. It would be the equivalent of everybody in the food industry just quits and has a food truck. Everybody now can just do it on their own, all of it, right?
Mhm.
And so what happens is you get this wave of people that have no freaking clue what they're doing. They don't even really know how to do hair, some of them, because they're coming out of
Mhm.
school and they're opening businesses. Totally fine. I say go for it. This is America. Go, go for it. We have a
Mhm.
great opportunity here, and you can open a business. Everybody should at least try. But again, don't feel bad that you don't know. Don't
Mhm.
blame beauty school that they didn't teach you business. You went to beauty school, not business school, and you're
Right.
confused about that. I keep seeing that too. Opening an account, going to talk to the bank, making an appointment with Small Business Development Center is stuff that you can do in the afternoon. And
Mhm.
I don't know how long it's going to take you. Like sometimes I've sat at the bank for a couple hours while people are in meetings or whatever, and you just kind of wait. Or you can
Mhm.
schedule an appointment with them. There is somebody that works on small businesses at every bank that
Right.
is happy to meet with you. Go talk
Yes.
to them.
And they'll
You
help
don't
you as
even
much
have
as they
to
can.
you don't even have to have a bank account there. Go there and say, "Hey, started this, don't know what I'm doing."
Yep.
And they'll say, "Hey, you need this account. This is why, and this is what it'll do for you, and here's how you'll move forward." And they can set that up for you that day, right?
Yes. Yes. Right away. Right away.
They might even be able to give you your debit card. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
you
They
should
have
have
to send
everything
that
right
to you.
there.
Yeah.
So if you like literally, I'm telling you, there's a
Just
lot of stuff you could do right away.
yeah, just go do that. And now you have your account. So even though you don't know what you're doing, start getting your money into that account.
Yep.
And then
Then
again,
find your accountant.
obviously you're going to have to pay taxes on that money, right? So
Yeah.
yes, find an accountant. Again, just find someone, and it doesn't have to be hair specific. I keep seeing that too in places.
No.
I don't want to work with anybody that's outside the industry. I do. I specifically
How
want
many
people that
hairdressers
are
are accountants?
specific. Right. Well,
I
they
don't know
just
any.
understand our. I keep saying, well, they understand our business better. No, they don't.
What you
You
need
either
out of an
understand business.
accountant is the accountant, like what Kurt does for us. Like he understands the laws of
Oh, I
tax.
know.
He understands like what benefits that are open for us. He tells us like, "Oh, hey, you might be eligible for this." Like that's what I need out of an accountant. And then he sends us
I
our
don't.
monthly stuff so I know where we're
I don't
sitting.
need them to tell me what color perm rods to use.
Like, come on.
Anyway, so we went a little over, but welcome back to the show, Jen. Will we
Thanks
be
for
on
having
next
me.
week?
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right. Anyways, everyone, get on our email list. And if you have anything you want us to talk about, shoot us a message.
Please.
And yeah, that's it. All right. We're out of here. I want
Okay.
to go.
Bye.
Bye.